It's Kat, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Backstory Sessions. I'm joined today by my co-host, Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Kat. Hey, everyone. How are you? Well, Kat, it looks like Valentine's Day was on Friday, and most people probably celebrate on the weekend, I would guess.
So they probably celebrated this weekend.
Yep, probably.
And, I don't know, I would say on my face, just based on Facebook posts and such, a lot of people, it looked like we're going more for like the chocolates and things like that, more so than I saw some flowers, but I noticed a lot of schools even were not allowing deliveries, things like balloons and flowers. And so, it looks like the celebrating was more like activities. People were going out, to a club or something like that, or on a trip,
Yeah,
something like that.
going out to dinner is always a big thing. I mean, I have friends
Yeah.
here who own a restaurant, and Valentine's Day is always big for them.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's big business. I would say cards are probably, people don't often post their personal cards, but, I would say that's a big thing too.
Yeah, you remember a couple of years ago we did like facts of Valentine's Day
Yeah.
on one of the podcasts. We did like, what's the how many pounds of chocolate are typically given on Valentine's Day?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I just remembered that, and yeah, going out to dinner and chocolates and flowers and all that are the biggest things.
I saw like the funnier side too, of like, well, it's not really funny, but it kind of is, the people that have like broken up because, they always say that people break up right before Valentine's Day, guys in particular, so they don't have to, buy anything for
Yeah,
Valentine's.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so they have, the different things where you can like name something after your ex and they will, like have a fish that eats another fish or things like that. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's funny, but I mean, probably if I'm being honest, I probably would get like a moment's gratification out of thinking of that. But it's one of the things that would sound better than it really would be very horrible, so I would never want to do that.
Yeah, seems a bit mean-spirited.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think just go back to, like, I don't know, what do people do, like, tear up pictures and,
Voodoo
things.
dolls, yeah. Oh, that.
Yeah, things like that, I'm just that sounds a little bit better. But, oh my goodness, the weather, it's probably like having a Valentine's experiment of its own, it feels like.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy here. We had snow and rain, and it's actually been raining most of the weekend here. We did have a little bit of snow the other night, but yeah, it's just been pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, it is winter and I get that, but it's like the changing of it, I mean, the groundhog did predict this, so
Yep.
you did see his shadow. Baxter of Barberville also saw his shadow, and so we should not be surprised because the groundhog is, I believe, like 60 something percent right, in the track record.
Well, I mean,
So, uh,
more than 50, so I guess
yeah, so that's not bad for a groundhog.
yep.
And apparently, he is a dad this year. Just saying, about the groundhog, that's probably made him even more intelligent than he was. But, it's just like you can expect the bad weather, but it's like you'll have a nice day in the 60s, and then the next day it's like 5 degrees or,
Yeah,
uh,
it's been up and down for sure.
yeah, and that's
We
hard.
yeah, we had one day, I think maybe it was in the 40s, and that was like the first day in I don't know how long.
And, the 40s is not even like our ideal temperature, but w- you'll definitely take it over 7 degrees.
Oh yeah, for sure. I hate the cold.
And then, I mean, so with us, it's like floods and people, like people are losing their homes and cars and lives and, and now, 2 to 3 inches, 4 inches, who knows how much snow is supposed to come right after, you're not even over the floods.
Yeah, my
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
well, it's like people can't. So trees are a big cause of the electric, like
Mm-hmm.
when they fall on the lines and stuff, and they can't even get to the lines because of the water.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
people, and so now I don't know what's going to happen. Like, will it just freeze and snow? And people need their power, when it's going to be cold. And
yep. Well, I guess I don't have to wait and see what happens. I don't really know how they handle it.
yeah, well, I don't really know either because, it's like they set up shelters, warming shelters and things like that. But, if people can't get in to fix the lines, you can't get out either. So I
Yeah,
do know some people that have boats, private boats or, and even probably the, rescue squad and whatever they do have. They'll go and try to rescue people. But,
yeah.
it's just a lot of need, a lot of rural area and very few boats. So,
Mm-hmm. Ah,
the
well.
whole state is under an emergency. So
Yeah, I know
state
the rain and flooding there has been pretty bad. Uh, we don't really have that here so much. Here it's just cold.
well, I guess, sometimes it puts it in perspective to be thankful for, whatever you have because, it definitely could be worse. And I'm not in a flood situation myself. It's just seeing, all the people that are not that far away, and that's just really, it's really sad. So,
Yep.
but we have a really good guest tonight, and he wrote a song, and it's a love song. He released the song on Valentine's Day,
Hmm.
but so it's already out, but it's only been out a couple days.
Yeah. So Trey Calloway. He's our guest, and he's been on before. I think it was on in August last year. I,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, I don't remember exactly. And yeah, so I remember he was a lot of fun, and it'll be good to talk to him again.
Yeah, he, as I remember, because he at that time had his hit, about like the older country music and
Right.
how he missed that. So, he definitely he's a songwriter as well as singer, and I always like people that do both. They're
Hmm.
very interesting to talk to about their method and inspiration and all of that. So, I'm really excited to hear about this song because, I love songs, which, by the way, the number one love song is I Will Always Love You. So, Dolly
Oh, really?
Parton.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's actually the Whitney version that they listed, but, Dolly wrote the song too.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yep. Mm.
Huh.
So, I don't know. There's so many good ones. And what an honor that is to have the number one of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so anything else going on? I know you're getting ready for a new play, a new dinner theater thing where mystery meets.
Yeah, 2 weeks away from the opening of James Blonde.
James Blonde.
Yes, kind of a James Bond spoof, but really like it's futuristic and it's really the costumes are amazing, very interesting, and so are the characters. It's definitely not very much realism in this one, but a lot of fun. It's in a casino and Casino Monaco.
Okay, well, that sounds cool. Have you started working on the next one?
Yeah, so the next one's going to be all about animals and the
Really?
most human. We'll kick that off, and you know, so we'll be looking for actors that would like to, play the part of a dog or a crocodile or something like that.
Okay. It's like gonna be like Animal Farm, George Orwell. Is that it?
I would say probably there's not too much symbolism.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't think too deeply about the one that we'll be doing.
Okay.
So, but I mean, probably some people, with George Orwell, just looked at it as an animal story too.
Hmm.
Like, I guess you can go as deep as you want, but usually more people are like looking more for fun. We are going to like partner, with some local animal shelters or animal organizations and, donate proceeds for the next show to hopefully, help spay or neuter cost or,
Right.
you know, food, whatever it is that they need to help the animals. But
Nice.
certainly spay neuter, is a big help because that cuts down on the problem of having so many animals with no
Right.
place to go.
Yep. Okay. Anything else before we talk to Trey?
Well, I will say we got a really great episode coming up next week. We talked a little bit about it last week,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so everybody look forward also to next week's episode where we talk about a film that's going to be made, and we'll be going in depth with the directors of that.
Oh, well, it's already been made. It's just being released the end of the
Yeah,
month,
on
I
the
think.
28th.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be interesting. Do we want to talk about the topic a little or?
Well, it's a vegan, uh, so
It's a
I, I'm
documentary.
guessing that we have a lot of people that eat meat in our listening audience.
Yeah, so it's a documentary about the vegan lifestyle, I guess.
Hmm.
And they, they went around and talked to a bunch of people and got their thoughts on it. And it's pretty interesting, in talking to them, learned a lot. So you ever thought about being vegan?
I have, and I can see like people. Some people do it for health reasons, and some people do it because of attachment to animals and feeling it's cruel to
Right.
eat them. So I have thought about it, but like I guess I haven't been bothered by it to the extent that it's made me stop eating meat.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give up burgers, right?
Yeah, well, or chicken, or
Yeah, yeah.
and I mean, so I will say, like my growing up, I mean, my grandmother, she would just pick a chicken up out of the yard and like, wring its neck, basically just like, twirl it around until its neck broke, drop it on the
Hey,
ground, and it,
Jesus.
you know, that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's terrifying and traumatizing. It was when I was young,
Yeah.
but somehow, I guess somehow I've developed a disconnect that I don't really like when I'm eating chicken, I don't go back to that
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
because, you know. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you thought about it that much, you'd never eat anything, I guess.
yeah, well, certainly, I mean, I think the way that people grow up, if you grow up with meat, eating meat, you just probably are gonna like it.
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty hard to, like, give it up entirely and become, start eating a plant-based diet. I mean, barring the absolute need for it for health reasons, I guess. I mean, it would be really difficult. I guess it's like, anything else that's out of your norm or comfort zone or whatever. It just seems like a daunting thing. And, maybe it gets easier as you get into it and, get used to things and whatever. But yeah, so,
Well, I mean, eating is a lot social too,
yep.
and there may be certain places where there are a lot of vegan options, like if you went out to dinner with friends or whatever,
Hmm.
but I don't see that really here a whole lot. I mean, you could always get a salad, but, like, I don't think anybody wants to live on salads,
Yeah, I
so
mean, there's a lot of different, you know, it's a cultural thing too. Like, I was in India last year and, they don't eat meat there. There was, chicken and seafood and stuff, but obviously beef was, they don't eat beef. And, but they do have a lot of really good dishes that don't include any of that. A lot of plant-based meals that they eat. And I was talking to somebody there about, being vegetarian or vegan or whatever. And they just said, it's been that way all my life. And, I don't know anything else. So that's just, I guess it's what you grew up with, like you were saying.
I think it is, and I think it varies, it's gonna like, about how difficult it would be is gonna vary by the culture that you grew up in, I think,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's definitely gonna be an interesting episode, and I think whether you are vegan or, whatever your opinion is even about it, I definitely think you'll enjoy this episode.
Yeah, yeah, and I think our listeners will enjoy this episode with Trey Calloway and hear about the song that he wrote and what he's been up to since he was on last time, and find out what he's doing coming up. Because
Yes, because everybody loves a good love song, and, Trey is gonna tell us all about his latest.
all right, well, let's talk to Trey.
I wanna welcome you back to Backstory Sessions. It's been a while.
I know, Kat. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it sounds like you are doing fantastic. Last time we talked to you, you had released, the song about country music and the old country music and missing that.
Yes, ma'am.
And now you've come back and Valentine's perfect song. You're releasing, you've released called Your Love is Safe with Me. And that's
Yes,
what we're
ma'am.
going to talk a lot about today. But, why don't you catch us up? Like, it sounds like a lot of things have been happening since we spoke last August or
It
so.
it's been crazy. We got all the singles out for the Wanted Man album, including I Miss Country Music, and I mean everything has just been crazy momentum. They're keeping me really busy. I'm already working on my next album. Trying to work on getting some tour dates together and go out there and explore this great country and just trying to make it happen.
Well, and did
There.
you say that you got married also in
I
between all
did.
this?
I did. I got married in October. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to a wonderful woman named Raina. And her and I have been together for the past couple of years and been enjoying life. And we were already married to each other in our hearts. We already felt that we were, but we wanted to make the commitment in front of our friends and family and God. And we did. And we went on the honeymoon, had a good old time. And man, as soon as I got back from the honeymoon, I hit the ground running back full time music and just not taking the gas off the pedal.
Well, does she have any, part of the inspiration for the new music,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Valentine's music?
Absolutely. So this song, I wrote with a fellow named David Alex Barton, and the song it feels semi-biographical in some way. It's just a love song about reassuring your partner that, you always got their back. That I'll prove to you that your love is going to be safe with me, and that's really the gist of the song. And the day that David and I wrote the song, my wife and I have been living long distance away from each other for the past couple of years, but she just because she's out there at the beach chasing her dreams as well and doing her career and giving it 100%, just like I am in Nashville. And but she happened to be working in the apartment where I live here in town while we were writing the song. So she was the first person to hear the song, and she was like, you're cutting that one. There's no doubt about it. You're going to record that song. I knew immediately I wanted to record it.
Wow. So it does seem like, February would be a great time to release it.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the response been like? It's been out, just a little bit now.
It's been really great. It's been really great. We were pushing this, we were teasing people with the song, the month leading up to the release, and then when it dropped, it just people are loving it. It's a genuine song. It's a song from the heart. I think people resonate with that. The longer in this business I am, and the more I do it, the more I realize when you just say what's on your mind and you stay genuine with people, that's when you tug on their heartstrings.
So let's talk a little bit about the lyrics. So you co-wrote this song. It seems like the central idea is the title, "Your Love Is Safe with Me," but
Yes, ma'am.
who came up with that line in particular, or tell us about how it evolved.
Yeah, so David wrote, he had the first verse and a part of the chorus, and he said, "Man, I want you to help me finish up this song." And he said, "I just know you would sound great singing it." And I think it was like the second or third song he and I had written together. And so we'd gotten pretty good at writing together. And so I helped him write the second verse and finish up tidying up, the chorus and all that stuff. And so we kind of both had an equal part in doing it, and it came together perfectly. And it just so happened, I mean, it happened to be fate that my wife was here, because she heard it. She was like, "Wow, you gotta record that song." And so the second part, the second verse is more me, and then the first verse is not necessarily words that I wrote completely, but I mean, fit me to a T as well. You know what I mean? Because I used to be a lot wilder than I am now. you know.
Yeah. So, was it interesting writing a love song, with a male?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I do it all the time. Guys, we all go through the same thing. Men have the same emotions women do. I think maybe men just try to bottle them up a little bit more, and not we got to act tough all the time. But we have the same emotions. We feel the same deep emotions that women do, and especially when it comes to being a musical person, we can't hide our emotions. We have to keep them out on our sleeve, because we're the mirror, held up to the world that says this is what experiences and love and hate and cheating and drinking and partying. This is what it looks like. That's what art is, and so we have to be that. And most of the songwriters I've gotten to know, most of the friends I've gotten to know, whether they be male or female, are very good at saying, we're going to write about this, and we're going to really engage in this thing, and open. And I'm talking about some of the toughest country boys that you ever want to meet. But then when they write a love song, it's the most tender-hearted love song for the person that they care about, the woman that they love. So that's a beautiful thing, and a great question. If I'm being honest, that was a great question, Kat. Thank you.
And do you find that, like, are you always thinking like vulnerably like that, or
Yeah, honestly, yes. I think a big balance for a person like me, a guy like me, I try, because this business is tough, and you have to have a thick skin in this business. You got to have that tough outer layer in this business, because if you don't, this business will eat you up. It'll chew you up and it'll spit you out. If you listen to naysayers, if you listen to people that tell you you can't do stuff, that will eat you alive, and that'll make you want to quit. That'll make you give up. So you have to have that tough shell that blocks out all that negative energy. But at the same time, you have to be sometimes an open sore, an open wound that you feel and you breathe. And it's like that's not always as easy as just saying it. You know, I mean, that I would say the greatest art of all time comes from pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
vulnerable. These are great questions, by the way. I think that's last time the last time you interviewed me. I think I mentioned the same thing to you. I was like, you very deep questions. I could tell you put a lot of thought into this.
Well, so here's another one for you. I mean, it's fascinating, but like, what if your wife, what if she would have hated it and said like,
I know.
I don't really like that.
Well, I loved the song, but I'd be lying to you if I said her opinion of the songs that I write don't matter to me. And she's usually one of the first people to be sent the work tape. Usually when I write a song, if it's a song I really love, I'll almost immediately send it to all the people on my team and then to my wife and my mom and dad, just people I really trust to be honest with me about it, because I know my mom and dad will be honest with me. I know that she'll be honest. My wife will be honest with me. My team will all be honest with me. And so she's one of the people that I always send it to. And I do put a lot of weight, but sometimes it might be a song that I really love, and she'll be like, "Oh, it's okay." If it's more of a guy song, if it's more of a boot stomping, honky tonkin' type of thing, she might not resonate with that as much as my buddies will, my guy friends will.
Right.
But this song she immediately took to, and that's when like she's in a lot of ways my wife is my target audience. She is a young woman, young professional woman, but she's loves very deeply and loves country music very much. And she's kind of, if I know I can get through to her, I feel like I know I got something. And same thing with my son. I have a 10-year-old son who, if I play him a song and he likes it, I know it's a good one. You know what I mean? Because he'll tell me. He's probably the most brutally honest of anybody. If he don't like a song, he'll tell me flat out.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but he loved this one too. He loves this song too. Honestly, I haven't played this song for anybody that I can off the top of my head has said I don't like this song. And I think that's a testament not to me or David, but a testament of the song that we created.
So Matt, it's time for your vulnerable side here. What questions do you have about this?
Hey, Matt.
So I was just curious. You mentioned your son. What does he think about you being involved in the music business? I mean, is he like, oh yeah, my dad, is
Well, I'm scared. Well, because he's 10 years old. So this is a very tender age. I'll use the word tender.
right.
He's a couple years away from being a teenager, and he may eventually get to that attitude, one day. But now, and the years leading up, and now he thinks that his daddy's a rock star, and he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that I'm still clawing my way up. That I get closer and closer every day to success, but I'm still clawing my way up and still fighting for everything I get, and still working my fingers to the bone to make this dream happen. But he doesn't see all of that. He sees the glamorous stuff. But I want him to see that. I want him to be proud of me. That's a big part of the reason why I do it, is because I want my son to be proud of me. At the end of the day, I want him to be proud of me the way I'm proud of my father.
Mm-hmm.
So he is very much has the music in him. He is very musical, and time will tell whether he wants to be a country artist. He likes hip hop, he likes country music, he likes heavy metal even. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of all music. I listen to a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
My music that I make is the number one music that comes out of me when I make music, but I listen to everything from Metallica to hip hop and disco and funk and all kinds of stuff. I like all kinds of music. And so he does too. I raised him on all that good stuff. And so time will tell whether he wants to be a pop singer or whether he wants to be a rapper or a metal drummer or a country artist. I mean, I'd light up if someday I'm out on the Opry stage with my son, and he's looking me eye to eye and we're at the same height and he's singing a song with me. I mean, that's a dream come true right there.
Yeah, for sure. Has he picked up a guitar or anything like that? Or?
So he hasn't started. He started toying around with the piano. He's kind of taken the same kind of route that I took. So I grew up singing. I didn't grow up playing any instruments.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start playing guitar until I was about 14 or 15. So when I was the age of about 13 is when I really started to delve heavy into country music and started trying to write songs. And it would took the form of, being in math class and writing down lyrics that were coming into my head as I was thinking, supposed to be paying attention in math class, but I'm sitting here writing country songs, and so what I've seen from him is the singing part of it. He's a really good singer, and he this was a few months ago now. We were riding in the car and he said, "Daddy, I know you write songs." He said, I got to tell you something. I wrote a song. And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm over here expecting it to be a bad song. He's a little kid."
Right.
But he sings this song to me and it was really great. And I was like, "You didn't write that." I was like, "You're lying to me, boy. Quit lying." And he said, "No, I'm not, Dad. I promise you I'm not lying. I really wrote that." And I said, "Well, sing it again." And he sang it to me again, and it was amazing. And I was like, "Okay, he's got the songwriting bug too." So I think the guitar part, because that was why I picked up a guitar, was in order to put music to the things I was hearing in my head, to put actual chords and lyric and melody together. That's why I picked up the guitar. I was a singer first,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he is too.
Okay, so I'm looking at your schedule. It looks like you're pretty busy this month.
Oh man, you have no idea, Matt. They're trying to kill me. I'm convinced they're trying to kill me.
Yeah, you got a couple days with a couple shows, and
Yes, sir.
that's cool. Have you noticed? I mean, I know it's kind of a crazy time in the U.S. right now.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed anything changing? Maybe farther out in the year, it's not as busy for you as you thought it would be, that kind of thing, or is it?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Explain what you mean so I
Well,
can
I mean,
understand
I
it.
mean, your touring schedule. Have you seen any drop off in?
Oh no, no. If anything, I'm getting more and more busy, and the main problem that I start to see arise is how much can I do before I just drop dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's kind of the point I'm coming to is no. It seems like as soon as we get to a new level where I'm like, I can't work any harder than I'm working, we do something else, and I'm like, man, I'm at this again. And I love it. I thrive on it. But anybody out there listening who wants to be a musician, who wants to do this for a career, if you think it is an easy life or an easy job, it's not. Be prepared to work hard for this dream and this goal. No, if anything, we're getting more and more busy. I'm already working on my next album. I play 4 nights a week. I write probably 4 times a week.
Mhm.
I've got a recording session tomorrow, and things are just getting more and more hectic and more busy, and I love it. I'm holding on for dear life, and I'm loving every second of it.
Do you have days where you're just you know what? I think I'm going to take the day off and chill out, or do you schedule those
I
things in?
That's a great question. I don't have many. If I'm being 100% honest with you, man, I don't get a lot of days off. I had a rare one on Sunday. The venue that I play every Sunday was booked for a private party. So the owner, a good buddy of mine, reached out to me and said, "Hey, stay home today. Take the day off. Gig today." And I was like, "Well, what am I gonna do with myself?" So I just cooked myself a dinner and watched a movie or two and enjoyed a day off. And it was the first day off I can remember in a while.
Did you find yourself oh crap, what do I do now?
I know exactly. I just went to the grocery store and cooked myself a dinner and watched a movie and tried to relax.
All right. Well, all right, Kat, what else you got?
So when the song, did you do any special, special plan, anything when the song released? Did you have a special ceremony or romantic something?
Honestly, my wife and I, when we got married, I was between playing her this song or another song that I've written that I really hope to record one day. And I ended up playing the song that I wrote that I'm going to record again another day because, she'd already heard this one that we did and I wanted to surprise her. She didn't even know I was going to play for her. So I would say the ceremony for our love and this release of this song was our wedding. I mean, we had just
Aw.
a shindig of a wedding. And then we went to the honeymoon. I mean, it was just amazing. It was so nice. And her and I are so busy. We don't get to spend that kind of time with each other. And it was just like a 2 week span where we were just each other's and it was perfect.
So, do you find that writing a love song is more fun than writing a breakup song?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean, if I write breakup songs, my breakup songs are usually not woe is me, I'm so sad, I'm gonna drink myself. But yeah, I don't write a lot of songs like that. I do have some songs like that, and I like them. I mean, I do have a lot of songs like that. But my breakup songs are usually kind of tongue in cheek, kind of a little bit funny. Like here's to you. You know what I mean? Kind of like a cheers to us. We didn't work out, but we're both going to be all right. That's my heartbreak songs are usually more along the lines of like funny, like friends in low places or something like that. That's. But when I go to write because I haven't broken up with anybody in a long time, so I haven't had that experience. I need to get with some of my buddies, some of my songwriter buddies, after they have a bad breakup. We'll write us a really tear jerking breakup song. So,
So, in this song, Your Love is Safe with Me, what is your favorite line?
oh, that's a great question. I would say my favorite line of the song is in the chorus when we're married and children get older. I think that's my favorite. I think I think that's the ultimate proof of loving somebody is when you stick by their side even when you get older. And the newness wears off, and looks might fail you. You might both not be as good looking as you once were, or as bright and spry as you once were, but having somebody's back when you're old and gray, and and being there, when at the end. I think that to me, that is the best, most simplest but powerful line in that song is when I'm loving you over and over and when we're married and children get older. I love that song. I love that line of the song. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that is a great line.
Thank you.
So, your co-writer,
Mhm.
how long? So you said he had started already on the song.
Yes, he brought part of the song into it. He brought part of the song in that he had already worked on. Yep.
So when you got together to work on, creating the whole song, how long did it take?
Well, he's a particularly cool kind of songwriter. He had a lot of the melody ready to go, and usually I'm the melody guy in my songwrites. I'm usually the guy that comes up with melodies and stuff. And so it was nice to work with somebody like that who was kind of matching my energy. And he was just stuck. It was like he was stuck, and he had a couple things like, yeah, I'm not in love with this line. We need to change this. And so that's what we did. We tightened up that chorus, and like the first verse was done pretty much, and then I helped him write the second chorus or the second verse, and it all came together. I would say it took us about an hour and a half when we were done. Usually, if a song's really, not every time. Sometimes you'll get a really good song and you have to really dig and really grind, and it takes you 4 or 5 hours. But it took me and him about an hour and a half. And songs like this one, they 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 write themselves almost. They kind of pour out of you a little bit.
So did you know, like, did you both feel like when you finished it this is a special song,
Oh,
and this is
absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We both knew that we were onto something special. This is a great song. I'm honored to be the one to bring it to the world. He's done he's I mean, I'm honored to have been a part of this song and be the one to bring it to life, honestly. It's because it is a great song. And I hope that people end up loving it as much as I do.
So, do you see people playing this song at their weddings? And
I hope so. That would be fantastic. I don't know if you've ever heard of the car test. This song 100% passes the car test all the time. If you are in your car cruising down the road and you turn this song on and you rock it out with your speakers cranked up when your windows down, you are gonna bob your head. If you are a country music fan, you are gonna bob your head to this song.
Hmm.
so, why does the world need love songs? Like, what is it about them, do you think, that, keeps them popular? I mean, it's the same topic, people fall in love, but there's so many different takes, like the one that
That's a
you
great
put on it.
question. That's a great question and one that I've actually put a lot of thought into. I think at the end of the day, love is the thing, but people are different, and each two people's love story is different. And that's what keeps love fresh and new, is that yes, it's the same emotion that my mom and dad felt for each other, and then when they came together and fell in love, and my grandparents when they came together, it's the same emotion, but it expresses itself in different ways because people are individual and they're different and everybody has a different story. And I think a love song encapsulates a moment for two people that's very special. It's that moment in time with that perfect person you're with that it imprints itself on your brain, on your mind. And I think that's what keeps love songs fresh. And in a grander scheme, I think that's what keeps country music fresh and great, because it's those themes of love and heartbreak and good times and hard work that keep country so relevant, because those are basic human that's the basic human existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what have been some of the, like, historically favorite love songs for you?
I love The Dance by Garth
Yeah.
Brooks. That's probably my all-time favorite love song. I also love The Chair by George Strait. That's probably a
Mm.
super tie.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't get much better than The Chair. I would say He Stopped Loving Her Today is a sad song, but in a way, it's a very powerful love song as well. He loved her very much, loved her so much it killed him. And so I think that that's another great one. And in my household growing up, George Jones was part of the religion. you know, I'll always like to joke. I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but I always like to joke around that I'm my dad's second favorite country singer. So, yeah, but he loves me. He's stuck with me though. He can't get rid of me. He's stuck with me.
Yeah, we actually, Nancy, George's widow, she is our guest for this week, and
Very cool.
so when you brought that song up, it reminded me of one of the stories about how he said that that song was so morbid that nobody would listen to it.
I know. Well, but what a powerful song though. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
arguably, I would say 9 out of 10 people are going to say that's the greatest country song ever written.
yeah.
I mean, it's just a fan, and his voice and the record and everything, perfect combination of singer, song, production, time period, just the perfect storm of beautiful elements that molded into a masterpiece.
Well, and there again, I think a story based on the love that they had. A lot of songs come from that
Yes, ma'am.
love, it seemed like. So, I love February and the people coming by and talking about the people that are important to them, and how that, how they take that and put it into something that we can listen to forever.
Yes.
So what is next for you? I know you said you're getting ready to start writing, and and the next album. You never really get a break, I guess.
No, we hit the ground running. I've already done 6 songs. I've got 6 songs in the can for the next album. I'm working on a 7th tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm going in to do a recording session tomorrow with the producer, and we're going to get the 7th one done, and then we might end up probably doing about another 5 or 6 more, and that'll be another album. And really excited. I mean, it's like the struggle of doing what I do for a living is you write a song and you sit back in your chair and you put the pen down and you go, this is the greatest song I've ever written. And then 2 days later, you write another one and you say, this is the greatest song I've ever written. And I'm notoriously bad about that. My team pick on me to no end because I'm notoriously bad about that. And it'll be like, when we'll do some press stuff, it'll be like, okay, play the song that's been recorded, Trey. Don't play one of the 6 new ones you wrote this week that are the best song ever. You know what I mean? And so I'm notorious about it. But I love that, the process of it. I do. I love the process of it. And you do get better. Your songs do get better and better as you practice. It's a muscle. You flex that songwriting muscle, and you get better at crafting songs, and that is a part of it. So this new material we're working on, I'm really excited about it. This album, excuse me, this album is actually one of the first, not one of, this is the first album where I'm doing some outside cuts, some songs that I didn't write. So about a third of the songs on the album are going to be songs that I didn't write, that are written by some really great songwriters that, I've heard these songs and I said, hey, does anybody want to record that song? And, they'll look at you and say, yeah, if you want to. So there's a couple of those on there. And I love it. I mean, I'm so excited. And that's going to be a transition for me. I think talking about doing interviews with great people like y'all and talking about songs that I didn't write might be an interesting challenge for me. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really going to have to do my homework and get to know the head of the songwriters, what was in their head when they were writing these songs. That way I can deliver their message well for them.
Well, sounds like another episode of Backstory Sessions.
100%. 100%. It's a scary thing doing songs that you didn't write. It's a scary thing. I've always joked around and said, well, I'd love to be George Strait and just sit back and have people bring songs to me that are great songs. But that's a scary thing. There's an authenticity factor that, there's an imposter syndrome that we all deal with in this business. That's, am I a phony for writing, recording a song I didn't write? But I don't think that, especially with country music, I don't think that's the way that people see it. I think people say this was a beautifully written song, and then this was perfectly delivered by the right artist for the song. You know what I mean? I think that's the way to look at it. Because, thinking about like George Jones, we just got talking about He Stopped Loving Her Today. He did not write that. He didn't write that song. It was a beautifully written song delivered by the perfect artist to sing that song.
Yeah, and a lot of songwriters don't sing really.
Exactly.
So
they're poets. They're geniuses. They're poets.
Yeah. So if somebody didn't do their song, it would just remain on paper, and that would be
That's a beautiful way to look at it, Kat. That's a beautiful way to look at it. Absolutely.
Well, for now, we're going to say that Your Love Is Safe With Me is your greatest song to date. And
Thank you.
We want everybody to listen to that during the month of February and beyond. And,
yes, please.
And then beyond that, we want them to, find the meaning of it with their special someone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Thank you so much, Kat, and thank you, Matt. I appreciate y'all.
Anytime, Trey.
I can't wait to be back.
Yeah, we'll definitely set something up.
Okay.
We'll let you go and have dinner and get to your next event.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe, okay?
All right. Thanks for stopping by with us.
Thank you very much. Y'all be safe. Talk to you soon.
Bye.